Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2 ended on a pretty major cliffhanger, and theories about Season 5 are spreading across the internet like wildfire. In today's video, I want to dive into one theory that for some reason keeps popping up every now and then. And let's just say that this is a very special kind of theory, one that I at first couldn't help but laugh at, but the more I thought about it, the more plausible it becomes. But before we dive into this, remember to like the video and subscribe for more content like this, where we explore theories, breakdowns, and other fun stuff about your favorite TV shows and movies. Alright, so what is the deal with this theory then? Well, to put it simply, there is an idea out there that Vecna's story could be of one that sort of reflects the story of all our favorite villain of all time, Darth Vader, and his story that ended in redemption. I'm sorry? Darth Vader? Redemption for Vecna?
Excuse me, what?
Yep, you heard that right. Now, don't worry, I'll explain. Alright, so before Vecna becomes, well, Vecna, he's known as One or simply as Henry. And just like Darth Vader's beginnings as Anakin Skywalker, Vecna was at first just a human. Both of them showcased extraordinary abilities while they were young, and as they grew older, their powers grew to monstrous proportions up until they both turned to literal monsters. And interestingly, both of them blamed their fall on those who were at once closest to them. For Anakin Skywalker, that was Obi-Wan, his master, and for Henry, it was Eleven, his fellow test subject. Now, aside from the Force being an inspiration for Eleven's and Vecna's psychic powers, the Duffer Brothers themselves, as in, the creators of Stranger Things, have stated that the Season 4 finale's dark tone takes a lot of inspiration from The Empire Strikes Back, which is still considered to be one of the darker Star Wars movies because of how technically the good guys lose and the Empire seems to have won. The same thing can be said for how Vecna accomplished opening 4 gates across Hawkins, which subsequently resulted in a massive space-time rupture in the middle of the town. Eddie also tragically gave his life to protect Dustin, and Max is left comatose with her fate undecided, reflecting what happened to Han Solo at the end of Empire. Now, the Duffer Brothers has again stated that Season 5 of Stranger Things will be inspired by The Return of the Jedi, which means that the good guys obviously will prevail in the end. And now this is where this plot twist with Vecna could come into play. You see, during The Return of the Jedi, we see a Darth Vader that is struggling with his pull to the light after realizing that Luke is his son in the last movie. And in the end, Vader reverts to Anakin Skywalker once again, as he himself kills the Emperor but sacrifices himself to do so. Mirroring the title of the movie, The Jedi Returns at Last. Now, according to the rumors of the internet, Vecna's story could end in very much the same way. He realizes the errors of his ways, shuts the gates to the Upside Down, but also destroys himself in the process. But let's just slow down for a moment, okay?
Okay.
So in order for Vecna to actually turn good, he would obviously need a similar motivation to do so. Now, I've speculated in an earlier video that you guys really liked, that Vecna, or well, Henry, could be Eleven's real father. Now, this is one of those key aspects that I think would have to be necessary in order for Vecna to somehow become a good guy. But that's also another problem. Vecna has never been a good guy. If we look at Anakin Skywalker, he was obviously a beloved Jedi that saved a lot of people and who didn't shy away from loving others fiercely, like his wife, Padme. He also loved his mother pretty immensely, and he only really started feeling the pull to the dark side when she died in his arms. Now you see, the problem with Vecna is that he never really cared for his mother, at least from what we've seen. I mean, he turned her into New Age furniture, murdered his sister, and was about to do the same to his father. And when he's under the care of Dr. Brenner, he manipulates Eleven to join his side. And now, here's where it gets complicated. As while we know that he basically used Eleven for his own gain, he did want her to join him. This is also reinforced in the season 4 finale, when he and Eleven finally talk to each other again, where he admits that he always wanted her on his side.
You don't have to do this. You can still stop this.
It is over, 11. There was a time when I had hoped to have you by my side. But now I just want you to watch.
So it's not impossible that he feels some strange love for Eleven that could affect him more heavily into the future. But if I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you guys, I don't really see how Vecna could redeem himself anytime soon, even if it was to be revealed that he was Eleven's true father in season 5. And this is because Henry, as I've stated before, is simply a raging psychopath with no regards for human life whatsoever. Of course, Darth Vader could have been considered a raging psychopath as well, considering how many thousands or perhaps millions of lives he was directly responsible for taking. His fall to the dark side wasn't pretty either, as he quite literally slaughtered children at the Jedi Temple and then almost choked Padme to death before his battle with Obi-Wan. But then again, we also know that Anakin's motivations were based on emotion, as he felt angrier and angrier until he didn't feel anything but hate towards everyone who didn't agree with him. And if there's one thing we know about Vecna, or Henry, it's that he doesn't really have emotions. Well, as far as he's shown. To be perfectly straight with you, Vecna's story is much more like that of Emperor Palpatine's, as Palpatine murdered his own family and countless others in cold blood in order to rise to the political ranks to finally become Emperor of the Galaxy. Which indeed sounds like something Vecna would do. Now, while I don't think Vecna is going to become a good guy in the end, I do think that Will could possibly become the vessel of Vecna throughout season 5. Meaning that Will could take the role that Darth Vader had, as in Vecna could try to control Will throughout the season because of his already established connection with the Upside Down. But in the end, Will prevails over Vecna, but in so doing maybe sacrifices himself to end the threat of the Upside Down once and for all. Speaking of which, I've gone over this in a previous video where I explained why Will could be the final hero of the show, so check that out after this video. Anyway, leave those thoughts down below. And have a great day. I'm out.